So the Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei lashed out at Israel and the United States in his first address since after the war came to an end. Khamenei said that the United States had actually achieved very little in this war, stating that Iran had dealt the United States a very severe slap with the attack that Iran had carried out on the American base in Qatar. Listen in.
The President of the United States exaggerated events in unusual ways, and it turned out that he needed this exaggeration. Anyone who has heard these words has understood that there is another truth behind these words. They had failed to take action and had not achieved their intended objective.
All right, now we're being joined by Dr. Charles Kupton, who is a senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations. He is joining us live from Washington, D.C. Dr. Kupton, we all heard that press briefing, that very extraordinary press briefing by Pete Hegseth and General Dan Kane. Now, a lot of people are wondering, the crux of this entire issue is what happened to that 400 kilograms of enriched uranium, and no one, not President Trump and not Pete Hegseth, have so far come up with a convincing explanation to say as to what has become of the enriched uranium which Iran had with it.
Well, I think what we're seeing here is that the intelligence is being politicized. You had a report from the Defense Intelligence Agency that the attacks set back the Iranian program only a number of months. You just heard the Defense Secretary used the words obliterate and decimate. My guess is that the truth is somewhere in the middle, right? There's no question that the combination of U.S. and Israeli air power has done huge damage to Iran's nuclear program. There's no question that U.S. entry into this conflict helped end the war and get a ceasefire. We don't know whether the ceasefire will hold, but so far so good. But yes, number one, we don't know where that highly enriched uranium that was in Natanz is located. There are reports that that material is in scuba tanks, metal tanks, and that they were moved before the bombing. And secondly, the Iranians have the know-how. They have the scientific ability to rebuild centrifuges and further enrich that uranium to weapons grade. How long would that take them? That's a matter of dispute. So I think we're somewhere in between the claims. This is not the end of Iran's nuclear program, but it's been dealt huge damage.
It has been dealt damage. This is something that even the Iranians have admitted, that yes, there are parts of their nuclear sites that are being damaged. But the controversy and the manner in which it has blown up, the fact that Donald Trump says that the Iranian nuclear sites were obliterated, and then there was this leak of the Pentagon's internal assessment, which was reported by certain outlets within the American media. Do you think it is right on the part of the president to go after the media for reporting what is an internal assessment of the Pentagon about the Operation Midnight Hammer and go after the media in the manner that he has done? Is there a different strategy that the American president and the defense secretary should have adopted?
This is Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump is a reality TV star, and he loves to attack the mainstream media. He calls the mainstream media the enemy of the people, and he relishes these kinds of fights between the administration and the New York Times and CNN. So this really is par for the course. Furthermore, I think Trump did run a risk here. He has a base that is somewhat neo-isolationist, no more wars in the Middle East. He has entered a war in the Middle East, and it looks like it went reasonably well. And so he wanted to stand on the global stage and say, mission accomplished. I have ended Iran's nuclear program. And then you had this leak that steals his thunder, that says, hey, wait a minute, maybe this hasn't been so successful. And I think that's the reason that Trump was so angry, and the reason that he got Hegseth and others to go out there and say, oh, this is just fake news coming from the left-wing media.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Charles Kupton, for joining us with that perspective there.
Sure. Bye-bye.